Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Terry Hoese. Coach,
Tyler,
how's it going?
it's going all right.
Let's talk about the region tournament.
All right.
Oneida, Austin East coming into it. We previewed it last week. Had Oneida, had it at home. Won that one 64-54, advanced to the region semis again for the fourth straight year. But of course, as we've talked about, just couldn't get over that hump. Lost Austin East 60-54 up at Unicoi County High School last night. So take me through the region tournament this year. I know Oneida was a come from behind victory. Austin East almost the same, but just couldn't close it in the end down the stretch when you had the chances. Take me through both games in the region tournament this year.
Well, we played Oneida on Saturday night, and Oneida came in as a 6th seed, knocked off Gatlinburg-Pittman. And I know that was without Glasper. But I told my kids, I'd watched Oneida play several times, and I told them they're not your typical number 6 seed. They were good. And we knew that coming in and got in here, and I think we got down 10 points at one point in the third quarter, and I didn't know if we were going to be able to pull that one out or not. And I think we went on like a 17-something run at one point and got back in the lead and were able to eke that one out. But had some good performances from people against Oneida. So good quality win to get to the semifinal. And, we talk about goals at the first of the year. First goal is try to win the conference. Second goal is to try to win the district tournament. Third goal is try to win 20 games. And then fourth goal was try to get to that sub-state game and see what happens. We've been able to reach those last few years with the exception of that sub-state game, and really hoped that we could get over that hump this year. But just didn't finish last night. Come out and jumped up on Austin East there in the first quarter. I can't remember what it was at the end of the first quarter, 14-8 or something like that. 14-10,
and at one point you had a 13-5 lead before they closed it.
We just turned the ball over too many times at crucial points, and like you and I talked earlier, I think we made one shot from the three-point line, and I don't know that we made another shot outside of the paint. I think the rest of our scoring came from inside the paint. So had some good individual performances last night. Gamble put up 20. Trey Gentry, I think, had 10. Jace had 12.
Seniors accounted for 42 of 54 points. I don't know the percentage, but I mean, when it's their last game, they don't know it's their last game, but when you're potentially facing your last game, you expect them to perform like that.
And that's the last thing I said before we hit the floor. Don't leave anything out here tonight that you're going to regret. So that's what you hope for them. I mean, obviously, I want to win as a coach, but you hate to see those seniors play the last game. But you also want to make sure that those kids understand that if they come off that court losing, and they look back and they see things that they wish they'd have done differently or felt like they could have done better, that haunts them the rest of their lives. So last thing I said before we took the court last night was don't leave anything out here that you're going to regret. Make sure you're giving me everything you got and finish this thing right. So I felt like my kids played all right last night. We made some crucial mistakes at crucial times. But faults, had that thing to 3 there late, and took a three-pointer to tie it, and I swear it went into the bottom of the net and threw it back out. And then they got the rebound, went down, went up 5, and it just kind of seemed like we just couldn't get back in the game at that point. Had to start fouling, and they made free throws, and we come and get a bucket and have to foul, and they go make free throws. So Austin East did what they needed to do. I did feel like we played a quality game against a quality team. That's what I told the kids. 32 teams left last night. Everybody can play. And then after last night, it goes to 16. So you're not playing any shabby teams when you get to that point. So nothing to hang your heads about. I went back and looked, counted up in their 4-year career. I think they went 82 and 46.
82, okay.
These seniors. So
I was wrong. I had 81 last night for my records on the article, so correction, 82.
82 and 46 for these guys, and over the last 2 years they went 48 and 17. So there's nothing for them to hang their heads about, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And we can talk about the senior class too right now before we jump into the season recap in the second half. Since we're on the topic, you talk about them being 82 and 46 in their 4-year careers, 48 and 17 the last 2 years, 3 straight district championships. Is it 3 straight regular season championships too? I know it's back to back for sure. So 3 straight regular season championships too. All 4 years they appeared in the region or in the district championship and in the region semifinals. They've had about as good of a career as you can have here at South Greene High School. When you look pound for pound and compare those 4 seniors with any other senior class, you might not find a more winning class that has achieved more than them.
Right. And that's what I told them after the game was last night. Nothing to be sorry about, nothing to hang your head about. They've had a heck of a career here, and some of them have been here for 4 years. Some of them, Gamble kid came in, was only here for a year and a half. Micah Shelton was a senior that didn't play a whole lot. He played for the last 2 years. Wasn't even on the varsity last year. He came in last year, wanted to play. I stuck him on the JV as a junior and told him if it worked out, I'd keep him. He wanted to stick it out, and he did, and I got so much respect for Micah Shelton. Then you got Trey Gentry that played as a freshman and didn't play as a sophomore or junior, came back for this year. So some of those guys haven't played as much as others have, but you take the Roderick kid. He even started some games as a freshman for me, so he's been in through it for the whole 4 years, and would have liked to seen us get to advance. Would love to seen this team be the first in school history to get to state tournament, but wasn't meant to be.
And you talk about the other trophies and accolades too that you can add to that. You talk about back-to-back Hardy's Classic championships, I believe, back-to-back Big H championships too, 3 straight Big H's, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, if you make a graphic like you would of NBA players and take all their trophies and accolades, you might have the biggest picture for this team because of everything they've accomplished with tournament plaques, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas tournaments, district tournament plaques. I don't like to speak of this as a company, but, I mean, you look over here, you've got Game of the Years. I know you all have had Team of the Years. Just everything that this class has done, you can't say enough about them and everything they've accomplished. And, I mean, congrats to them for everything they've done here at South Greene, too. And we'll talk about them a little bit more in the second half, though, and kind of take it a little bit on a lighter note, talk about some of his favorite moments and the team's favorite moments throughout the year. So we'll get a break in first. We'll be right back here real quick on Grassroots Media.
For more than 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has served customers in East Tennessee with licensed and professional plumbing services. From installing your new faucet to replacing your existing piping system, our team at Tommy's Plumbing is trained to handle the job with professionalism, attention to detail, and integrity. By offering warranties on most products installed by our technicians, Tommy's Plumbing stands behind our work, ensuring that your plumbing needs are not only met, but that your problem is solved for the long term. When you need reliable and professional plumbing service, Tommy's is the only call to make. So give us a call today and let us show you the Tommy's difference. At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the court with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm always joined here with head coach Terry Hoese. So, one of the least favorite interviews to do every year, of course, the end-of-season interview. We did the end-of-season post-game interview last night, which is always the toughest one. This one is always tough, too, because it's the last time, of course, we sit here and talk about the team, but we get to talk about some of the bright moments throughout the year, some of your favorite moments, memories, games. We'll go through each of the three questions that I like to ask about at the end of each season. So I don't know what order I usually ask them in, but the first one I'm going to think of this year, we kind of talked about it during our break. You didn't have a game as exciting as the Hampton game last year, where you went to triple overtime up there at Hampton. So I don't have one off the top of my head that I think you will say, but I am interested. What has been, it may not be just one, what has been your favorite game or games that you've been a part of this year?
You always get excited when you win championships.
Yeah.
So, winning the Hardee's Classic is a huge deal for us. You're going to play teams like Crockett, who have been a powerhouse in 3A for the last couple of years, and to be able to play them on their home court and win that game, obviously that's exciting. But I guess if I had to pick one out of all of them, how could you not pick the Dobbins-Bennett game here? So,
Okay.
You've knocked off a 4A powerhouse and one of the best programs, I guess, in state history over the many years that they've been playing. So it's when you can play people like that and compete, it's always nice. And to get them in here. Now, we won't talk about it Dobbins-Bennett where I got beat by 35, but I guess that game getting beat 35 actually makes the one here.
It was a nice facility, though. You could say
it's
that.
a super nice place.
I've not been yet, but
you.
from what I've seen, it is a super nice facility.
Our kids were definitely a little shell shocked. You got no backdrop behind the basketball goals, and we couldn't make shots. And
Big old Tron above you.
Yes, so they put on a nice little light show to start the
when they ran out.
game, and it was something to see. So something good for your kids to get to experience. But I would say that game here was probably my favorite.
And then some of your favorite moments, too, throughout the season. Maybe big shots. It may be as big as lifting the district trophy again at the end of the season. What have been some of your favorite moments throughout the season?
I don't know. I guess one of my favorite things, and I don't guess this is a moment, but to see Trey Gentry come back and have the success that he had. He was a wild card. He hadn't played since he's a freshman, and that kid wants to come back as a senior and play, and you don't know if he can play or not. But he proved himself and was a huge part of what we did. But it's hard to pick special moments, man. We've had big shots. We've had end of game winners.
Just naming some.
The West Greene game down there, it's tie game, the ball at the end of the game, and Gamble turns around and makes a little fall-away jumper to win that one.
Talk about another West Greene game. You could talk about all the West Greene games this year. You have the buzzer beater at West Greene. You have the second half comeback at South Greene. And then at Unicoi County, of course, we talked about it last week. You never get tired of winning. So when you win your third straight district championship, all of those West Greene games had big moments in them. You talk about the Hardee's Classic, a big moment again to lift that plaque, because that's always a big tournament. Big H now, is that 3 Big H championships in a row now?
We didn't win that one this year.
That's right.
We got beat in the semis by Cott County. Didn't have Jace, didn't have Caden.
Union County game had a few big moments in that game, if we remember that one.
Back and forth, and it is good to see. It's really good to see those young kids, too, that came in and filled in during those times, how much they grew. Kind of gives you a little hope for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's exciting right now. If told my guys last night we'll take about 5 weeks off and we'll get at it again. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is day one of no basketball, and I'm already looking forward to getting a new group in. So just little things like that over the season that kind of keeps you motivated. I know things can get stale. Basketball's a long year. You basically start at the 1st of May into April. And we take off those 2 weeks of dead period, and then we take up a couple of weeks when school starts. Outside of that, we're in the middle of basketball. So it's almost become year-round, and things can get a little bit stale. But to have those little spurts of brightness throughout the year, and then see young kids come on. Played 2 sophomores a lot. Gavin Dyer and Noah Wright started several games for us this year. Gavin basically earned that starting position and finished up the last half of the season as a starter. To know that those guys are coming back and you've got that core of quality players. So I look forward. I wish it started tomorrow, but obviously we're going to take a little time here. But there's some moments, there's some games, but nothing in particular that just jumps out and says this is the favorite.
What are some of your favorite memories, too? I've got one that I'll bring up that was in a game that I just mentioned. What are some of your favorite memories?
Honestly, I don't even know. I'd have to sit back and think about that. I don't know. What do you got?
Union County game, Big H tournament, the technical to Derek Dyer. That was awesome. I know looking at the time it was like, really, but looking back later when you win the game, you can sit back and think, yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yep.
It was warranted, too.
Dude's got me 3 this year.
Has he got you 3?
I think
wow.
I've earned 1. I think I got 1 technical this year, and that dude's got me 3.
That is my actual favorite moment, the Crockett game.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you at the time because you had just lost and you were on that losing streak, but that Crockett game to me, there were so many times I had to hold back from laughing because you were letting the officials have it that night. Rightfully so. Trey Gentry was getting mauled down there. He was going up for every layup, whether he was hitting the floor or he was getting pushed over a foot from the contact in the air. I mean, he did deserve to get a few foul calls, and you let the officials know it. You let him know it. They gave you one. You said one time, too, that next time you go in there, why don't you just flop like a dang fish? Because they're not.
That's what I told you. That's why they gave him the technical. I was like, he's like, Coach, I'm getting punished down there. I was like, dude, just go in there and flop like a fish next time. I said, it's working on the other end. And he gave me a technical, and I just looked at the guy and sat down and smiled, and I told her, I said, thank you. So, what else do you say?
That was my actual favorite moment throughout the season. That one to Coach Dyer was funny, too, because, I mean, it was a very badly missed call.
Yeah.
I mean, it tapped off the glass, and then it was blocked, which is a goaltending. Nothing was called. But for him to stand up and yell, that's the only time I've ever seen him get a technical. So that kind of surprises me that you say he's gotten you 3 this year.
He's got me 3, and I've been on him. I'm like, dude, if we're going to get one, I'm going to earn it. Don't you go get me one. But he gets to laughing. He said the other night, I can't remember if it was the West Greene game or the Johnson County game, we kind of got heated. And you got to know Coach Dyer and I, we've got a great relationship. But when that ball tips off, we're both competitive too. We want to win games, and sometimes it gets a little heated between he and I even. And I had said something to him. I think I told him if he got me a technical, I was going to whip his tail right there in front of everybody. And actually, I'll tell you what it was. He'd gotten a technical. It was the Johnson County game. He'd gotten one early. And then later in the game, he said something to the official, and I turned around and looked at him. I was like, dude, if you get me ejected from here, I said, man, you're going to roll around and fight right here in front of everybody. And after the game was over, he started laughing. He said there was somebody sitting behind us that looked over and said, I think they're really mad at each other. I think they're going to fight. So you just got to know Coach Dyer and I. We're not going to fight each other. But
was it from your fans or another fan base?
It was another fan base.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So they didn't know us. But we've had some good times, man. In the heart of the season, we wound up 23-10. 33 games plus all your preseason stuff, plus all your summer stuff. Man, you do a lot of stuff together as a basketball team, and there's nobody else I'd rather do it with than Derek Dyer. He's a good guy, and we both want to win, and we both work hard. We both watch game film. We talk to each other, try to game plan together. I allow him to do anything he wants to in practice. He's got the right to say what he wants to say and to fix things when things need to be fixed, and feel like we've got a great relationship. So we spend a lot of time together, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Pretty much wraps it up for my 3 questions. Favorite games, moments, memories, all that. Is there anything else you'd like to add from the season?
No, it's just I hate it for my fans that we're done. But the seniors and senior parents, I appreciate it. And hope these guys come back and watch games.
I mean, going through the list, I will say that it was cool to see your region game against Oneida behind the Oneida bench. I seen a cast of players of yours from years back, and walking through at the gym, it's cool seeing something that South Greene has built here, where you've had past players that always come back to watch your games.
Yes, I always have at least 5 or 6 kids at a
Yeah.
basketball game. So it's something, and that's the last thing I tell kids before we leave the locker room when it's over. You're always welcome here, and it's been good. You know, kids get out and they get families, they get jobs, and over the years, some of them you don't see a whole lot, but then you get some kids that really love this place and love playing here, and you look up and they're in the gym and they're coming shaking your hands after the games. It means a lot.
And it's cool seeing that because there's some schools around the area and within the county too that you don't see that at a lot. So it's cool that South Greene has that connection with their students that end up becoming fans after they graduate. But going through the list of accolades again this year, I mean, Hardy's Classic Championship, regular season district championship, district tournament championship, region semifinals again, 20-plus wins again, 82 wins total from the senior class. I mean, there's not much more you can say about that. Congratulations, all the seniors. Coach, I hate it's the last one. It's always the worst part of the year. It's always exciting. Doing the first one, talking about the season and previewing, it always sucks shaking your hand one last time and ending it.
You look up and we'll be doing this again before you know it.
I hope so. Quickly. But, Coach, that's all I've got. Thank you all for watching this year's edition of the Gary's Paint Body Shop Terry Hoese Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.